Okay, well, welcome to Sacred Grounds. Uh, Without Dan, who is our regular host. I don't have his cheat sheet, but somebody wanted to hear ye, so there it is.
Yeah.
And I think everybody knows most of what's going on. If you have something that requires a trigger warning, let us know. For tonight, Tommy's the keynote, Britt's the last word, Antoinette's the mini feature, and we have no feature. So, and Julian is in, and he can be, well, Sam is number one, and Julian can be number 8.
8, yeah.
I wonder when y'all guys are going to realize that.
Hey, Julian, do you want to be number 8?
Yeah, sure.
Great, you got it.
Okay, so Tommy is the keynote, so I will mute me and
Okay, so I'm going to start with just an excerpt from a poem called Lucania by Leonardo Sinisgalli, who was a southern Italian poet that came from the area where my mother's family's from. And he writes a lot about his roots in it's the poorest area in Italy still. And he writes a lot about the poverty and growing up there. And this is just the last verse I'm going to do because it's a very, very long poem, but I really like this verse. I'll come back, alive under your red rain. I'll come back, guiltless, to beat the drum, to tie my mule to the gate, to catch snails in the garden. Will I see the smoking stubble, the brushwood, the ditches? Will I hear the blackbird singing under the beds and the cat singing on the tombs? I just love that verse, but the whole poem is like that. It's just really beautiful poem if you ever get a chance to check it out. And then I'm going to read from Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda, just 2 poems. The first one is called Pájaro, which means bird in Spanish. Here in the tree it sings. It is a solitary bird, lifelong, full of water that falls, of crazy light that climbs, of guttural crystal, of ceaseless trill. Why? And the question sings. And by the way, if you've never seen the movie Il Postino, which means the mailman, it's about Neruda's time in exile in southern Italy. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. And the final thing I'm going to read is In Vietnam. And anti-war poems like this are timeless. And unfortunately, they're always relevant because there's always war. And who started the war? Since the day before yesterday, it resounds. I am afraid. It sounds like a stone striking the wall, like a thunderclap full of blood, like a dying mountain. It is the world I did not create, that you did not create, that they created. That who threatens it with terrifying fingers? Who wants to cut its throat? Didn't it seem it was just being born? And who kills it now? Because it has been born. The cyclist is afraid, and the architect. The mother hides herself, her child, and her breasts in the mud. She sleeps in the cave, this mother, and soon the war comes, spreading far and wide. It arrives full of fire, and now they are dead, dead. The mother with her milk and her son, they died in the mud. What pain from then until now, having to remain in the mud up to the temples, singing and shooting. God Almighty, if they had said something to you before this life, before you came into this life, if only they had whispered to you that your relatives or those not your relatives, children of laughter, born of love, children of human sperm and of that fragrance of a new Monday and a new shirt, had to die so suddenly without even knowing why. They are the same ones who come to kill us. Yes, they are the same ones who will come to burn us. Yes, the same ones, the profiteers and the braggarts, the smiling ones who were gambling so much and who were winning so much. Now, through the air, they come. They will come. They came to kill our world. They have left behind a pool of father, mother, and son. We look inside her. She looks for your bones and your blood, looks for them in the mud of Vietnam, looks for them among so many other bones, now burned. They belong to no one. They belong to everyone. They are our bones. Seek your death in that death, because the same ones are lying in wait for you, and they destine you to that same mud. Pablo Neruda. That's it.
Hey, thank you, Tommy. So our next five, Sam, CP, and Jack, Tommy again. Oh, wait, I've got Jack twice. Is that a mistake? Did we,
What did I do? Did I mess this up?
I've got Jack as 3 and 5. So who do we
Oh,
have?
I think he was supposed to be 5.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
No, I was supposed to be 3.
Oh, you're supposed to be 3?
I
Okay.
was 5.
You're 5. Okay. Barbara's, okay.
Okay.
Getting it together now.
Okay, so let's do that again. It's Sam, CP, Jack, Tommy, Barbara. So I will mute me and
I'm so used to Dan, I keep waiting to hear, and the mic is to you. All right, so everybody can hear me okay? Yeah, cool. All right. So I have a few poems I wrote about Istanbul because, up until this year, I go to Istanbul every year to see my girlfriend, but we broke up, so I'm not going this year. But I wrote some poems about Istanbul. First one is called Banquet of Memory. Istanbul still sits in my mouth, the tang of strong tea, sesame bread, warm in my palms, street cats wove between my ankles, purring like secret promises. The air held 1,000 spices, and the call to prayer rose like steam from every rooftop. I left, but the city didn't leave me. It gnaws at me in quiet hours, each memory a bite taken from the present. I'm always half hungry for her, always swallowing her ghosts. Still she eats at me. The salt of the Bosphorus runs in my veins. The ferries rock in my chest, filling my lungs with engine smoke in a language I cannot forget. I try to feed the hunger with other cities, other faces, but they taste thin, paper compared to her fire. Every night she takes another bite, and I let her. The next one is called Balcony, Istanbul. In the beginning, the balcony was a ribbon of gold, the city spilling open beneath me, the call to prayer curling through the air like a soft hand on my shoulder. Nilofer beside me, her laughter fizzing louder than our beers, the night warm with promises. Days alone were different. While she worked, I leaned over the railing, watching ferries cut the Bosporus into silver ribbons. Street vendors shouted below, a spice wind drifting upward. And even in my loneliness, I felt folded into the city as if it knew me, kept me. Now the balcony lives in memory. I can still hear the slow rise of voices from the mosque, still taste the salt and hops, still feel the ache of being both full and hollow in the same breath. It was my anchor, my window, my quiet confession to a city that will always keep a piece of me, but never really know my name. And this was called Soundscapes. In Istanbul, the call to prayer rose like warm wind, threading through stone streets, drifting across the Bosporus. Even gulls seemed to pause, letting devotion pull through the air unbroken. Back home, sirens split the night, engines snarl, news spits from open windows, each voice thrown, each one trying to be the last word. I hear its sharp edges now, an ache for a horizon that begins with a prayer. And then this next one is called, where'd it go? Sorry. The next one needs a content warning. You know, it's just really intense. From a whisper to a scream. Breathe. I used to tell myself that when the silence threatened to escape, when whispers were no longer enough, when fear demanded a voice. I clawed my way through silence. Each word I spoke led to a crack in the wall they built to hold me in. The air trembled with what I had left inside unsaid. I learned the weight of my own voice. I learned the strength of my own will. I learned that whispers can plant seeds, but screams can break stone. And when I finally opened my mouth, it was not just my voice that poured out. It was the voices of every woman before me, every girl still trapped behind her own unbroken wall. From a whisper to a scream, I became the sound the world could no longer pretend not to hear. And then this one, my last one, is called Strength. They tell me I'm strong. Well, I had to be, or I would have been dead long ago. There's no other choice. When the world holds you down and takes everything you have, when the adults you rely on use you for their ill-gotten gains, when saying no doesn't work and silence becomes the only safe answer. Strength isn't a gift, it's a scar. It's the muscle you grow from lifting yourself out of the dark over and over again. It's bleeding and bandaging yourself and still showing up. It's carrying the weight of what was done to you and still finding a way to speak. Strength doesn't mean I wasn't broken. It means I built a life out of the pieces. So don't call me strong like it's a compliment. Call me what I am, a survivor and a warning. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sam. So our next five are CP, Jack, Tommy, Barbara, and David. So I am going to mute me. Oh, and Cesar, you're number 9. I am going to mute me, and CP, the mic is to you.
Hello, everybody. CP Mays. I am the host of Poetry Global Network's Bottoms Up Open Mic. So I've seen a couple faces here and there, so it's good to be around poets. I got this thing called a poem. Badge me into beautiful. Made the pressure soda pop fizz forever, my friend. Your world was never meant to be flat. Jam as much dirty laundry as you can inside the man's machine and watch the top 1% come clean. I grabbed your tongue by its hand, proceeded to Sunday stroll it around a secluded smile until a pet peeve and a peculiar fuck you robbed me. So I pleaded with all of my could-haves not to bury me with the rest of her never-could-have-beens. You put in the work. Hope it pays off. Tell yourself that he didn't really mean it. Remind your broken lampshade language and flying saucer diction is the only broken slang love speech she's ever learned. So you work. Tell yourself that I deserve better than I don't really deserve. Pick a drug of choice. Chase it with the laps you run around yourself. Cardiac arrest the track marks and stay sprinting away from yourself with that runner's high. Fuck complaining if you never learn to walk in another man's shoes. Try handicapping in another man's wheelchair for a day. Gather up all the grit you can muster and try walking a mile in another man's crutches. I've just tried both. Believe me, it's nothing to brag about. The nicotine in my lungs can co-sign that. The numb nevermind's not only willing to step on another man's head to get ahead, are often quicker to cut off a wheelchair in rush hour traffic. All of us who had the same shuffle forearm, pistons pass head nods, passerby wrist games, wave to each other, race and genders make up different makes and models, all one-way bruised spoke knuckles and overcome. I smell like sweat sympathy, and do I deserve some? The only other that can stare you straight in the face to face, all riding strollers, and I'm sure there's a metaphor in that shit somewhere, but right now I'm emotionally crutched. And I can't seem to navigate my way around it. My appointment was for 11:30. I checked in at 11:28. It's almost 11:50 and I'm in the Veteran Affairs Center psych ward. 15 minutes passed. A deathly disturbed silence filled the room. 24 or so veterans know something that the rest of the world doesn't know. Something that few in the rest of the world can grasp, grip, or hold on to. If the brain doesn't want to, this world is truly fucked up. And no one embraces that shit, let alone truly cares, unless some body cavity can turn a great profit. The next doctor walks in, gently vibrates a name into the room until heads turning make eye contact with the rest of Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, waiting for psychiatric meds to bingo their cachet. There are walkers and wheelchairs parallel parked all around this room. A young granddaughter of a toothless Vietnam vet asks her mother, who decided to join this forgotten field trip of am I innocent? A heartfelt question. She points her tiny little finger and says, "Is he a soldier, Mommy?" The side of silence fills that room again. I look up from writing this and notice another dawn of vets have formed a line at the check-in window. It's 30 minutes past my appointment time, y'all. So it's time for me to rejoin that line and check in again. This is my life on days like this. Semper Fi. Poem. Thank you. Yeah, that was. I know we only had 5 minutes, so I didn't want to take up.
You're at your 5 minutes, CP.
Oh no, I'm saying I'm good. Thank you. You gave me 5 minutes. I didn't want to take up any more time. Thank you.
Way to do it. Way to do it.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
And Finn Bell put in the chat information about CP's open mic.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Finn.
And Sam put in the chat some info about helping out with sexual trauma. So take a look at it. And next up to the mic, Jack Melander. So I am going to mute me, and the mic is to you, Jack.
Thank you. This is called resequencing. Today's poeto sermon will address the futility of trying to devise a calculus of human feeling till hope itself's anatomized and analyzed. Can psychiatric feeling thaw emotion's heart? How can a poet set up to educate the feminine imagination and still avoid hypocrisy? So must the lyric versifier conscientiously avoid success. But grub instead after the coin of a realm somewhere between filthy lucre and ambrosia, which could be invested to inspire the materialistic spirit's glad repentance, though technologically deified, to finally put getting lots of lovely stuff after things like friendship and desire. This is called Whale of the Old Incel or Tantalizing Schadenfreude. My lovely little nymphette love just the guys who funds can get, but scorn the ones who take the bet that human rights can win through. Yet your weakness levels the playing field, exempts from love men who will not yield their hearts, their hopes for a wage slave shift, though subservience isn't man's only gift. Yet level, my darling little nymphets, your disdain, contempt on men so dumb they take personal exploitations, regrets. Withhold your love till kingdom come. Young girls seize with pulchritude, making young guys come unglued, till all give up good dreams of self to grub for exploitation's pelf. Lovely, sexy tits and ass, ravishingly clad, displayed. Guys with dreams must let them pass. Hypocrisy alone gets laid. This is called In the Land of the Free Women. Because I am your customer, you are my captive audience, a lovely artist grocery clerk who sweetly captivates me back and humors me, and here's my poems. You actually keep them. You tell me you adore me, contending I'm amazing. You say you even think of me. I tell you, I often do of you, but not what else I'm doing at the time. I have to designate you muse, inspiring me a poem to win your hug, or show a poet's worth a dinner date. Oh no, ignore my lecherous advance. I once with young girls had my chance. Won't hope to now stand one with you, but do keep making my heart dance with strange duende you've endued. This is called Transfiguration. Don't you think that if through miles of city concrete canyon grid old night poets scooters slid, he's justified to see himself as some young god without arching vanity? If so, might he risk flirting, though he's all fucked up? Could a little courage or 7 horsepower energetics cause a passing maid to pause, investigate the jigsaw man there sitting on the curb? Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Jack. And our next 5, Tommy, Barbara, David, me, and Julian. And I want to remind everybody that we are being recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, let me know. So next up is Tommy. I am going to mute me, and the mic is to you.
Okay, this is sort of a silly poem. my landlord recently replaced my 40-year-old stove that was on its last leg. So I wrote a requiem for the old stove. With so many replacement parts that make him feel like Frankenstein, and memories of birthdays and holidays and roommates and cats who used to sleep on him and make him sneeze, the old magic chef takes off his puffy white hat for the last time, folds his apron with the baked-in stains, places it on the top of the refrigerator with the bananas and the garlic and the blender no one ever uses anymore. His last meal, a sprouted whole grain bagel with some ginger carrot soup and a cup of chamomile tea. When the time comes, he doesn't feel them pull the plug, but I do. Anyway, using that same line about when they come, for some reason, I wanted to do these two poems. They're contrasting. This first one was written in 1985, and I got to give you a little context. That was when, of course, the AIDS crisis was just really heating up. I was working as a reporter covering AIDS, and then, of course, taking care of friends who were sick at night. And so, of course, it led to a lot of intense emotions and paranoia. This is called When They Come, and this is 1985. They won't tell you. Oh, and I should also say that there were calls at that time by Congress members to set up camps for people with AIDS. So that was part of what fostered my paranoia. And of course, there were evangelicals who were calling for the death sentence for a gay man with AIDS. When they come, they won't tell you they're coming, won't announce it on TV. It won't show up in the Dow Jones averages or the truly gross national product. Depending on who you are, it may be days or months before they arrive. Polite and clean-shaven, tall and well-dressed. You might mistake them for insurance salesmen or clergy. The ones they come for first, those in the streets, those in park bushes, those with their pants down. You won't even realize they're gone until they come for you. Just a routine check, sorry to inconvenience you. It won't take long enough to board a train, long enough to stamp your arm, long enough to be told that everything you ever said or felt or dreamed is being used against you. There will be no lawyers arguing this case, no possible defense. The verdict will be swift, carried out. Only you will never see the judge. You will only know that suddenly there are no friends in high places, no politicians at your dinner table, no safety in where you lived or how much you earned. Your queer flesh won't take long to burn. And this was written a few months ago, and it's also called When They Come. And you know, once again, there's always coming for somebody. And this is the modern version or the updated version of that poem. When they come. When they come, where will you be? At a desk at work? On a Zoom call? In your second meeting of the morning? Will you be washing your car, mowing your lawn, doing the laundry? Will you have kids to pick up, a paper to write? Will you be on vacation? Will you hear it in the background, on the TV, in the kitchen as you make dinner? Will you recognize one of the faces, the woman who cleans your apartment, the man who fixed the sink, the abuela you always saw at the grocery store clutching her two small grandkids? Will you wonder for a moment how this could be happening before you decide to add more salt to the roast? And finally, to the theme, Dog Days, T-shirts always had wet spots, like they peed themselves. Armpits smelled like a gym, sometimes overpowering, sometimes sexy, like the Sicilian guy across the street. The dog star rising in the sky kept it like a steam bath. Sitting on the stoop at night, fanning ourselves with folded newspapers, or a gelato pressed against the face or neck, wishing for a downpour, dancing like pagans, splashing puddles in the street in our bare feet to beat the heat. That's it for me.
Great. Thank you, Tommy. And next 5, Barbara, David, myself, Julian, and Cesar. So, Barbara, I am muting me and the mic to you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I have a few August related poems. First one is called To My Baby Sister on Her 50th Birthday, which is in August. We couldn't afford to ride the Metro North on roomy, upholstered seats in air-conditioned cars, but endured the August heat, 3 in a stack, on the subway, thighs on sweaty thighs on sweaty thighs, for 90 minutes from Midtown to the Bronx to catch a bus north to Mount Vernon, praying we'd get home in time to fight over which television show to watch. I could not have imagined an end of the line to those perennial desires as we barreled through the noisy tunnels of time. This next one is called Visit to the Margaret Mitchell House. Margaret Mitchell died on August 16th, 1949. Hit by a car, hit by a drunk driver. A visit to the Margaret Mitchell house. Do you want to touch it? The wooden head of a lion guards the bedchamber, where hard convalescence brought grievance and boredom together like ovum and sperm, and a rebel child came to life. Unimaginable author trifecta, Pulitzer movie deal, sales runner-up to the Bible. The apartment is the tour's last exhibit, after childhood journals, where she turned the paper sideways, wrote roughshod over the rule, newspaper clips, stories heisted from men's beats, adversarial correspondence with lawyers and publishers' lawyers. She rubbed the lion's head for good luck, according to the cheery cherubic docent. Do you want to touch it? No one stepped forward, so I did. Stuck my hand right in the roaring mouth, stroked the tongue. Are you a writer, honey? The woman asked. The writers always touch it. And this one is called Elvis's Eyes. Elvis also died August 16th, 1977. I dreamed I lost Elvis's eyes. That's all I wrote on the pad I kept near my bed, in hopes of capturing fleeting thoughts, insight for living, or material for some literary venture. But now I don't know what those scrawled words even mean. How did I come to possess Elvis's eyes? There might have been some legitimate chain of custody. It's my unconscious, and I can do whatever I want, and so can the imagined Elvis. Maybe he gave me his eyes as a reward for bringing him back to life, to allow him to sing and eat and pop pills again, spar at the dojo again, all worth the toll of parting with his sense of sight. What was the condition of the eyes? Documentation and memory both fail me. They might have been moist and warm as if recently plucked, cooled off and on their way to desiccation, caked with crumbs from reused Ziploc baggie, or kept pristine in the Monday and Tuesday slots of a pillbox. How did I lose such treasures? I might have carelessly tossed them, covered in lint, when I emptied my pockets into the trash can at the laundromat. Maybe they will come out in the wash as fleeting thoughts, insight for living, or material for some literary venture. And do I have time for one more, or am I at 5 minutes?
No, you're good. Keep going.
Okay, I have one more. This one's called Luna Stacy's Lament. a duplex. And Luna Stacy was one of the blue fugates. These were kind of a family that was very inbred and so they had blue skin because of a recessive gene. Bury me on the banks of troublesome creek. Let the scientists dig me up and prod. Let the scientists dig me up and prod, and journalists indulge curiosity. Let journalists indulge curiosity. Let the people from afar wonder. The people from afar may wonder if they should pity or disdain me. If they pity or disdain me and mine, I don't care. I know we are luminous, luminous as blue icing on a cake. I know we are numinous as a blue moon, numinous as a blue moon in the radiant sky where I lay buried by troublesome creek. And that is it.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Barbara. And the next five, David, me, Julian, Cesar, and Brett. And remind everyone we are being recorded. If you don't want to be recorded, let me know. And I am going to mute me, and David, the mic is to you.
I think I'll write a ballad about my breakfast salad. Consists nuts, seeds, and fruit. My larder I do loot. Candied ginger, cherries, pears, papaya, mango go in there. Fry pan roasting nuts and seeds, pumpkins, sunflowers, some of these. Pecans, walnuts, cashews, toast. Brazil nuts, filberts I love most. Almonds sizzle with the rest, add to fruits, and then ingest. Avocado, apple, pineapple. Kiwi, peaches, oh, so supple. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries red. Melon, apricots go to my head. Currants, craisins, prunes, and plums. And banana. Now I'm done. I tread the boards, display the nails. I try my hand woodwinds and gales. If sax is sex and brass class ass, make up, make out, make thumping jazz. Then what's the point of this circular vent? To reinvent when spirit's spent. To reinvest and thump my chest. Inventing tools with the family jewels, all down the line of generation, dressed in the finery of veneration, content not found on your phone. Expose your soul in an active poem. Soul, S-O with a line over the top of the O-L. Soul. There is a sacred word to which we all adhere. It stands above emotion, anger, hate, and fear, a blend of light and balance, invisible, yet here. Right through Big Bang it rose and sang, a pedal to endear. Sometimes it shifts through music, invades our inner ear. Just when it seems completely gone, it always reappears. And finally, this I heard Chewy Varela on KCSM. The first line is mine. Cater to the edge, educator. Pat Metheny wrote a song called Calvin's Keys, for Calvin Keys, of course. For those of you who don't know, Calvin Keys is a local, fabulous guitar player. Died, I think, last year. Why did he write a song called Calvin's Keys? Because when it plays every single key in the song, courtesy of KCSM's Chewy Varela. And then last, opt out. Who are these spirit beings who hide just behind your eyelid? What are these word sounds that scratch our throats and tickle our nostrils? Are they animal scents? committed to stream? Are they 7 generations of foolishness drooling down the front of our shirts? Are they pollen-bearing bees' knees that spit petals and thorns into eddies or whirlwinds? What is the power that warns of danger we can only feel? Is it a crime if it doesn't rhyme? Mistakes, shakes, clam bakes, caught in a branch cleft, a transparent skin snake. Remnant, discard, leftover, all abandoned, then recast in flaming letters to the hindbrain, the insect ichor, the stitch, unraveled, then cast in stone. Earth shifts, cave tears a new air hole. On the back of your retina, there's a painting. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, David. So the next 5 are myself, Julian, Cesar, Brett, and Garrett. So since it is me, here we go. This is Dog Days of August on the theme. He looked up at the August night sky and asked, "Are you serious?" Did he imagine it? Or did the dog star bark back, "Yes"? Most everywhere in the Northern Hemisphere, dog days mean heat, drought, and sudden thunderstorms. The Greeks also connected these days with lethargy, fever, mad dogs, and bad luck. While everyone else suffers the hottest, most uncomfortable part of summer, we in San Francisco are in the midst of Fogust, when it's overcast, cool, maybe cold and windy. But we do have our dog days. The zoo announced dog days tomorrow, when guests can bring, quote, leashed, well-behaved dogs. Last Sunday, the Inner Sunset Flea Market had its dog days of summer with a parade of dogs. Pacifica held a dog surfing contest in early August, which also included a dog fashion show. The Giants are waiting until late September for their dog days. Every dog must have a ticket. But this is San Francisco. Every day is dog day. There are more than 150,000 dogs and less than 120,000 children. We have pampered pups and stray mutts, pugs and chihuahuas, German shepherds and St. Bernards. We have dog owner groups, SF Dog and Dog Pack. Bumper stickers that say, "I have a dog and I vote," although I'm still expecting to see one that says, "I have a dog and my dog votes." Doggone it. This poem has just gone to the dogs. And this is Summer's Almost Gone by William Trowbridge. The squirrels are spreading the rumor, no more monkey business. The Dow Jones hops up, then down, then back up, trying for attention up against dog days. The Capitol dome rattles like a witch's doctor's gourd. More Republicans, warn the talking drums. The networks labor underground to stockpile T, A, and blood capsules for sweeps week, when all hell won't be enough to save some. Pedestrians slip into light coats of pollen and mold spores. The Inquirer reports the sighting of Satan's image over Chicago during the heat emergency. His words were, "For the hottest deals in town, see Sal at Muto's Chevrolet on East Wacker." The old elm shrugged. "You think this is hot? We could tell you about hot." Walmart and Kmart burgeon into crooked towers of back-to-school candy. They're heaven-bound via the moon. Greeters offer themselves to the lowest common denominator. There's a blue light on mooncaps. Representatives from Tire City have announced they intend a hostile takeover and cleansing of their former territory, now known as Carpet City. Furniture City will not intervene. The NFL's negotiating for rights to the Baptist Church. The carnies have packed up the tilt-a-whirl and Ferris wheel, leaving us up to our ass in free parking. Everyone under 30 dreams of shoplifting some Air Jordans for school. Everyone over 30 dreams of going to prison for shoplifting. The hypochondriacs wake up noticing little dark spots in front of their eyes, think they could be in the middle of something serious. Winterize now, say the primetime commercials. Spend, 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 cry the cicadas and katydids over the scorched, moonlit lawns. And I went over a little, apologies. And we have the next five, Julian, Cesar, Brett, and Garrett. So, Julian, I am going to mute me. The mic is to you, and I think you should be able to share screen.
Thank you. Hi. This is an article about whales. Silence of the whales. What do we do when all the whale songs are gone? When we no longer hear their melancholic moan over vast distances? When they stop signaling longings for each other beneath the seas? When their giant larynxes no longer vocalize their complex melodies? What do we do when whales no longer breach the surfaces and make a wow splash? When in their vertical sleep position they sink deeper and deeper into the ocean, never to return. And all the wonder of their heft is but a digital image to be clicked when the last whale passes and no one cares a dick. Silence can be louder than a hollow bellowing, a spiritual folk song fading and forgotten in time, the missing choir in an empty church, a songbird fallen from its perch. The whales are going silent, men increasingly blaring. We can hardly hear each other over the din. The mixed signals are intentional, a noisy betrayal, like the piercing cries of the dying in a losing battle. What of us then when man has gone deaf to nature and all that remains are skeletal frames of magnificent beasts at the bottom of the ocean? Will humanity be beached, barely breathing, on the narrow shore of our own microplastic island? This is a short one. Someone mentioned a child. Encounter with a tiny god. A family with a young child, all masked, were in the lift with us today. Barely 2 feet tall, the child unprompted said, "Good morning." And I nodded absently with my uncoffeed head. When it was time for them to alight, one floor before us, she said again in a wee voice, Bye-bye. Then, as a bonus, held her tiny hand to her tiny flowery mask, her smiley eyes all aglow, and blew us a kiss. There can be no better way to start your day. A reminder that even as we descend, we can be elevated. That innocence can defy gravity, pass through masks and walls, and tiptoe into the steeliest of hearts. And poem. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. And we have Cesar, Brett, and Garrett before our break. So I am going to mute me, and Cesar, the mic is to you.
Okay, thank you, Richard. That was a nice poem about the whale. It inspired me to pull up my own whale poem. It's called Request to the Whale. You beast of myth, you beast of time, your journeys through oceans are vaster than the moon flights. The barnacles of your hide are as bumpy as the decades, as coarse as history. I am unworthy to ride on your back. Explain to me one simple thing that I might understand. Share with me one chapter from your voyages. Teach me one vowel of your language. And this poem's called Monday. I rise before dawn, last chamber of stillness and dark. My coffee and I are concentrated. We prepare to confront the week. I regard the moon. She has been waking early long before I made this my virtue. She has employment as well. Move the tides, encourage the blossoms. And somewhere across the city, bakers are making bread. And I have one more. This is new, little, I think it's done, but maybe not. It's called Smell of Change. I smell it. It's not a cozy odor. It's the smell of a house not lived in, of rooms whose memories were whitewashed, whose comforts were broomed away. It's not a yummy smell. It's something like stale oranges. It's the smell of moving, only I haven't moved. I haven't painted. My apartment is the same as ever. The wall colors, the furniture, the decorations, the dust. I smell it, but I didn't spill any on my clothes. It's not blowing from the window. It's blowing from inside, from my inside. The wall colors, the furniture, the decorations. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cesar. And that brings us to Brett and then Garrett. So, Brett, I am muting me, and the mic is.
Is it 5 minutes? Yeah? Okay. Just want to make sure. Winter snowflakes. They fall down, one by one, in unique form with serene quietude, poured from our celestial mountain crests these winter snowflakes. From the world they came, and to the earth they return, with an individual form, yet a unified, calming symphony. What of these cold, soft mornings could I learn and thus be better from? Dost thou see the brilliant dance go back to source? Yea, what of the dark senses who found suffering by an insistence for tension? What if the poison of ghosts, bitter curse, were made into these creations as well? Then, when the anguish became a single dropping, icy frustration, it now became quiet and welcomed. For it too shall blend back into life upon melting and meeting the waiting ground. When the friend, our dear precious snowflake, combines with others and comes to embrace the snow blanket, what was once pain becomes serenity. The season and its turn rise up as a time for a soft sound of gratitude. 'Tis a song only nature can sing if we are listening, tuned to a winter wonderland, a beatific mystery. That's the first one. And the second one, an important idea to examine. At some point, our brain makes a switch from once not believing in an idea like self-worth to believing we have self-worth and that we are able to cultivate it inside of us to a certain degree. The question is, why do we believe outside sources on this topic to a given degree, but deny the truth within we want to feel such as inner peace? Why do we deny the knowledge and wisdom coming from the inner voice and accept outer wisdom from outside sources? Why is our brain, our biochemistry, and any relevant topic so biased to where we don't see inner truth inside, even though it's staring back at us in the face? Where are the blocks and how do we overcome them? Not through miracles, but everyday simple exercises when needed until it becomes a routine and foundational. On a similar note, I only take feedback seriously from so many people because many people, especially with titles and power, give feedback in some kind of self-satisfying way and do not have the same truth values as I do, nor are they on the same wavelengths. I will learn from others, but I will also be aware of those who actively only care about their own well-being and thus only see scenarios from an unquestioned, implicitly cognitive bias. They never observe and change upon reflection. I am not better than them, but I am forging my own way. I am seeking truth. I need that inquiry. I want that inquiry, even if it just means breathe. I need that truth. I want that truth. I and any person is allowed to pursue that path. So let's go. And then let me check my time. Okay, I got time for a short one. There's wind. The wind is up today. Where it goes, I wish to follow it. I hope it's leading me somewhere, anywhere worthwhile. But you know what? Let's just see where it goes. Trust in this process. Thanks, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks, Brett. And next up is Garrett. So Garrett, I am muting me and the mic is to you.
Okay, I got three guest standpoints, I guess. First is called infinite tolerance. Assault and verbal abuse of non-whites, non-Christians, transsexuals, drag queens, autonomy-seeking women, any gender other than cis, Along with all other undesirables, it's most permissible and sanctioned by callous and cowardly MAGA martial law. Committers of said attacks are subject to veneration, admiration, promotions, and all other imaginable rewards. So stop worrying and learn to love the oppressor. That is all. Private Eye. Here we go over only the multi-zillion time ever. We bring you the great discovery of privatization. Yes, privatization. The world's greatest discovery of all time. Better than the wheel, better than learning to read, than altruism, than the discovery of fire and the entry into space, and especially in even democracy itself. Privatization enables you to acquire all you can own for your exclusively optional use. Your booty is not just in good hands, it's in your good hands. So 3 cheers for the ability to privatize. Sing praises for the ability to possess. And should others object? Well, it is your property. You can toss them out in the slightest of whims, or better yet, not even allow them in the first place. Your private sector is yours and yours alone to decide who goes in and who goes out, or not at all. The next best thing to your very own kingdom, and it can be built into almighty an empire. And remember, just remember, Woolworths was also a private domain. Now, found this one, which I haven't written in a long time. It's called Sailing on the SSUS. So, you wanted to see them profiled, and you wanted to see them scrutinized, and you want them to lose just a little of their liberty, all because you want to be safe. You say it's a minor inconvenience, and you say it can't be all that bad, just a matter of being careful, and besides, we're all in the same boat. But if you relish focusing specifically at them, and then claim this to be the land of the free, and yet to sit still for a reception to that catchphrase, while oblivious to obvious and non-existent exceptions for you, I fear, my friend, there's more than one bull around here. And that's about it.
Hey, thank you, Garrett. So we are going to take maybe a 5-minute break. When we come back, we have Britt as the last word, Antoinette as the mini feature, Nicole, and anybody else that shows up. So I'm going to pause the recording. And Rich, you're the last word. So I am muting me, and the mic is to you.
Okay. Notes for Trump. Hey, your fascism is showing again. Stop playing with toy soldiers in our cities. Members of your gang have become a pain in the ass. The killer health secretary, the lover of old statues at the Pentagon, the mannequin AG, the unpublic defender. Hey, Trump, you can't count. You do need an objective statistician. I've been talking bad about you for quite a while now, but you should have heard the cab driver this last Saturday. He was loud and unforgiving toward you, and he went on at great lengths, unsolicited, wrath and vitriol. Surprised me a little bit. We usually talk about football games. Tonight's theme, Dog Days of August. My imaginary dog takes great offense at this week's theme. I don't drag butt. I take delight in every day, even in the heat of summer. As a matter of fact, I'm off to a dog steeplechase in Pendleton, Oregon. Don't bet on those other drab doggies. I'll return victorious. Lay out a good spread for my triumphant return. I fancy a mint julep and some of Slim Gaillard's avocado seed food. Dog days of August, too. There are no dog days around here. We just think life is hard. We're blessed by the foggy, foggy dew every morning, tripping through it toward another sweet day. On the other hand, things might be better if we fumigated the White House and sent those current clowns down the road. Finally, on the theme, the opposition. Look at them over there, sitting on the bench, bemoaning their fate. 23 games out. Their manager is an analytical fool. They all have holes in their bats. They haven't had a pitcher go 3 innings in a month. Oh, woe is me. These are the dog days of August. Thank you.
Thank you, Britt. And Avacha, we are coming to you. We're at 5 minutes if you want it. So,
I'm honored to be here, but I have no idea. Tell me, what is the dog days of August? I've been trying to figure out what does that mean.
it's actually got to do with when the dog star is in the sky, and it's kind of for other parts of North America, it's the hottest part of summer.
Okay.
So I'm going to mute me, and the mic is to you, Avacha.
Okay. For my book, thinking a lot about this. I've been seeing a lot of street kids out there, so I want to do this one. It's called Street Children of the Night, para los chiquititos de la noche en cualquier lugar. Black and brown children of the night que ya no saben nada de jugar. Mis niñitos de la calle, queridos morenitos whose ideas of having fun got swallowed by the darkness. If I could, I would wrap you in sunshine. I would hold you close and fold you in these arms and caress whatever's left of the child in you with lullabies. I would like to cover every injured inch of you with home-cooked self-esteem and bet that deseo bacantes. I want to fill the hole that hurt dug. Take my hand and I'd swim defiantly through the fires of hell for you and with you through the movement of disrespect. I'm a hard-headed kind of lady and I just can't see myself giving up on you. Somos lo que somos, you and I, y para nosotros somos todo lo que hay. We've been fused together by history. Por lo bonito, los sueños rodados, like spiritually in the maze of our destiny, oye. Mis negritos, mis pequeños callejeros, lo necesito. The truth is, I know I need you, y yo sin ti soy nada. Nada, nada, nada. And if I had a chance, I'd refuse to turn you loose till you were so in love with yourself that self-destruction would disintegrate under the pressure of your presence. And you were so secure in my love for you and so sure of the splendor you had become that even the sun would lay aside its arrogance just to get a chance to reflect the brilliance of your essence and bask in the bold truth of your integrity and ti. Vive la verdad real y yo sin ti no existe ni un sendero de la esperanza. Oh, say can they see you, my beautiful wild lotus flowers, if I could. I'd bathe you in a sea of rose water. I'd convert your waves of pain into an ocean of pride and faith. Yo te pido, dame un chance. Please, please, please let me in. I promise to do the very best I can, even if I have to wake the dead and conjure up our ancestors' breath. I'm not too proud to act a fool, get down on my knees and holler and scream and beg all the spirits of goodness to intervene, to blow away the fog of dismay and distrust, or santificado lágrimas, to dissipate the rage burning behind your eyes, so together we could wash away the centuries of emasculating doubt and defeminizing lies, and have a little fun and learn to play a brand new game called Demolishing Worlds of Self-Hate. Children of the night, mis niñitos de la calle, I want the stubbornness of my love to help you turn all the lights inside your soul. Tú eres mi sangre. I will not allow the streets of any city to steal you. You like a blossom, you like a blossom, Ay, Dios mío. Okay, you like a lotus blossoming in the night. Mis queriditas alma de mi existencia, I will not let the cesspool of Fulinda make a fast food happy meal of your dreams. Chiquito de la esquina, you are our only wealth. You are the most beautiful part of me, and I'm not about to let you go. I will not permit the hungry stupidity of greed to feed you to the streets without putting up a fight. Amorcito perdido de la noche, if I could. I would pave your path with stardust and massage your mind with a steady diet of just how important you are. Make sure you know you're too damn important to let the world just throw you away. It's my job to remind you on a daily basis this crazy old lady is here to stay. I'm still here, staying and praying and praying and staying and praying and praying and praying and praying. You let me in, mi cielito negritito de la noche. I'm talking to you. Can you even hear me? It's all tomorrows that you're throwing away. Queridos Ninito de la Calle, I'm still waiting. A stubborn old lady with a heart full of love, standing in the shadows and waiting who you could be, waiting for you to finally see me, waiting to wrap you in a blanket of sunshine. It's in my book. If you don't have a copy, please get a copy. And if you already have a copy, get a copy anyway and give it to somebody else. Thanks for listening to my words. And please join us the fourth Saturday of the month for our poetry series. Got 4 amazing features and 10 open mics, so join us. I put that hopefully in the chat as well.
Thank you, Avacha. And Karen came in. Karen and Antoinette. Antoinette's the mini. What order would you like to go in? Do you have a preference?
I'd like to go next.
Okay, we'll let Antoinette go next, and then it will be Karen and then Nicole. So,
Thank you.
Antoinette's the mini. I am muting me, and the mic is to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I have some new ones and I have some old ones, and I'm under 8 minutes. And I apologize. Last time I was the mini, I was over 8 minutes, and I did really felt bad about that the next day. So this one's called Happy. I have come to the end, and still I expect more of this final step into this place where I live, where the guilty, anxious, sad, forlorn recipe for my life is vanished, gone. What remains is more cool than I could ever be. Peace goes deep with a double thump like a broken heartbeat, sculpted for retreat in the midst of this worldwide Gotham City. The darkness spills into every hope. Now a virtuous, blameless, praiseworthy wanderer bows for my own applause. Break a leg, I say, in this relaxed gait, in baggy jeans, an old woman here to forgive myself and all that's been done to me in the name of reason. Thank you. Language to build a room. Language to build a room. Paper walls, white or cream, stick furniture, lines follow in a downward spiral form empty curves, surround sound, floats above, below, center. Out of precarious stones balanced, deities, philosophies, talking points pointing to ancient texts spread out in the sun, soaked on polished rocks, muffled, gurgled, spit out eyes, ears, and other tongues. Absorb the message, comprehend, disbelief with no reason, faith in vision, to tantalize, calm, realize, commonality in verse. Revelation. Pulse on the universe in space, under still waters, tucked away in roots, deeply held long fixes, where everything is connected, dispersed to unseen galaxies within the glorious source mind, memories of my so-called spirit turned sometimes human, knocked to the ground, blustering winds captured in descent, whirling about space debris, free fall from my body or hope or despair, literal renewal, a hidden collaboration worthy of joy, ripe in revelation, flash of divinity, self-guided presence, completely inclusive, waiting on welcome. Coming to an end. Ça suffit, that's enough. Breaking out of the frame, knowing when it's time to go. I am stood in front of the shop window, eyeing paradise and baklava. I stuffed my needs away, broken in places, deluded and sad, learning to live after fleeing love that left the shore, after trusting only in myself to carry the years, white-haired and wrinkled. I am laid aside on warm concrete, a tiny space in the city of consumption and fear. Strangers walk past, lost in thought, sleepwalked. Still, there are empty mornings filled with the solitude I craved. And you ask why my poetry is so negative. Letting go of who I was, only to realize who I am when this passport expires and crows caw across the sky. And then I picked out 3 from this book I did about a year ago and have done nothing with it since, but it's got my poems. So this is called Ode to Bigots. Cold, barren chambers pump sludge and slime through your moonless, miserable heart. Hide the guns, mend your robe, cradled in America's racist past. Walk at night, stalking death. Flames fuel your collective frenzy, taken with moonshine sublime. Self-righteous racists revel in unexcused ignorance. Radical right dig their claws into their own greed. Intolerant devotion courses through your veins. Praised prejudice, your higher power. Vile rhetoric guides your gang. So afraid of your own false arrogance. Exalted leaders, faith and hate, your tomb, your dungeon, your vault, like catacomb zombies, rest for the wicked collected. Oh, bigots, true, cruel fervor, take a cotton to white, never an eye to your own fearful state. Oh, bigot, my brother, you're so hard not to hate. Can you see we're all one race? Humanity held in separated state. And then just 2 more. This is called When Art Was Easy. Twin doors, easements for ingress and egress, magical space where usefulness merges with aesthetic sensibility, beauty in the eye to the hand of the artist. Painted cornflower blue with a bit of green garland and red-orange bursts, detailed flowers backed by special powers. Woody Guthrie sang resistance songs between these blue doors, ingress and egress of community. Salt of the earth, brazen old men, strong women, young families and singles too, trans and drag, immigrant and indigenous, poor and affluent, black, brown, Asian, white, laughing and singing between these doors where folk art extends her hand and Woody Guthrie strums his guitar, singing songs for generations, crossbar to fascism. And then the last one is the poetry deal. A poem can be anything. A blank piece of paper can go anywhere. Diane de Prima said this in a film called The Poetry Deal. We didn't talk much, just looked in the fire together. Remember, you can have what you ask for, so stand in the wind and ask for everything, held in the shadow of a breeze, quivering leaves on the sidewalk, cherry blossoms turned late summer, framing red brick stairs to the stoop we used to sit on from where you fell and didn't come back. Drums beat into a cool sunset winding down your life. Arms float up, swirling like smoke, extended to the perimeter, currency of the cosmos. Death and I fit into the magnitude of the sky. Inert particles, micrometeorites, timeless quasi-crystals formed in nature and in space, somehow dropped on Mexico and Iran. That should be right around 8 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Antoinette. Great set. So now we come to Karen, then
Hi,
Nicole.
everybody.
So
Sorry I missed. I was running around tonight. I'm so sorry I missed so much, but that was absolutely gorgeous, Antoinette. A beautiful, beautiful mini. Really just loved it. I had this sitting on my desk and thought, okay, I'll read this tonight. It's maybe 15 years old, but it meant a lot to me at the time. It was when there was a storm, and in Pacifica there were homes that were just sliding off the cliffs, and we went back. That was when my late husband was still alive, and he was taking measurements, and he's a coastal engineer and was looking at it from that standpoint, and I just sat and wrote poetry. So here's what I wrote that day. The ocean is gentle today. She strokes the shore and wraps the prehistoric buttresses of clay in creamy foam. Upon her back a seagull nests, and through her misty hair the sun burns softly. Today the ocean sleeps in peace, embracing mighty rocks of ancient yore, and curls among the tide pools in her bed, reflecting on two white wings as they soar. Great dunes of sand with hats of grass march slowly inward towards the land, as bugles of the hollow wind signal retreat, and sand and land and hats of grass sway gently as the sea pursues the dunes with waves that nip and howl behind their feet. Inexorable tongues of brine and foam lap greedily upon the sinking shore, while Oceana's fingers clutch the land and feed it to the ocean's gaping maw. The crashing waves bear witness to the scene, rising as jurors to debate a claim the ocean holds against the continents. In sand is grace, but power is the law. A crane lifts rocks like lumps of sugar, placing each with care into the ocean's cup. Sea walls emerge as sugar blocks to hold a cliff a sea would rather sup. The continents are laced with rivers flowing to the shore, and fingered cliffs suspend above the sea, a solitary moment measured by another's wish to hold the world in perpetuitude. My house is held by God himself. I hear the lonely cry, and in that moment hands of clay reclasp across the sky. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
hey, thank you, Karen. That brings us to Nicole. So I am going to mute me and Nicole. The mic is to you.
Hi, everyone. Just ran up the stairs to get this dog. Okay, going to his potty. Wow, such incredible work tonight. Thank you, everyone. Okay, this is on the theme Dog Days, August. All right. My dog days came sooner last year. They crawled up like a mini cat from a stinky alley, snaked behind me and nipped me in the back of my shin. Sweat. The sweat won't stop. Neither will the thoughts. Wet, dripping thoughts. I'm drowning in my thoughts. I'm drowning in my heat. It's self-created. It's self-created. The heat is like a pot of popcorn And a baked potato. That's how hot the heat is inside me. Kind of flubbed that popcorn line, but oh well. All right. Next. Florence, the dog days aren't over, so stop singing. If you can't tell the truth, the dog days are on, baby. They're on. Can you believe it? Sister admitted she did it. No. Girl, yes. Admitted it on the 5th of August. So you're going to visit her? Maybe if she concedes. But can a born Leo give up their religion? All I know, she'll never hurt me again. So until then, we'll see. I do hope the fight ends someday. But a lion and a dog fighting in August does not breed a well-deserved winter slumber. So we shall see. Next. Just a little bit of a trigger warning. It's a little bit graphic detail of being sick, nauseous, and vomit. All right. Collapsing onto the cold floor, bile silky on my mouth. Is this the day I die? Like Jimi Hendrix, kinda, but very uncool. Against the side of the bathtub, cool the head, cool it off, turn everything into ice, and let it all freeze. And just then, a snout between my knees, a boost, second boost, then another one. The force of love melts the freeze and pushes me up and up out of the Arctic waters. This is an afternoon in a dog's day. Last one. This just in, Trump is coming to Oakland in August. Hi, the folks in between brick and mortars. Hi, the police incident reports. Excuse me, ma'am. This isn't a crime. No crime was committed. Yes, I know, but these people need to know it's just not okay. It's not okay. Ma'am, this is your third call of the day, and again, no crime was committed. So, yes, I know, but it's just not okay. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. Police car does not flash this time, and they just drive away. Husband opens the window. Honey, are you okay? I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I just feel so very incredibly unsafe. Honey, come back up. Let's write that letter to Trump. Then we'll go to church tomorrow and pray the day he comes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. And unless I missed anybody, speak up if I did. That brings us back to Britt for the last word. So I am muting me, and Britt, the mic is to you.
Got two ghost poems. Not Hollywood ghosts, ghosts in kilts protecting the castle. Proofs and electrical devices hardly suffice. Taking regrets and obsessions will not produce sightings in old hotels. Ghosts in these poems come from a different realm, the living work of past masters. Courbet saying, attend to the past, before he tore down a pompous statue. Rand Blake at 85, wrapped warmly in a blanket, hearing other voices, his rhapsodies on Monk, Mary Lou Williams, noir films, and the smooth voice of Gene Lee. They're all about Ronnie. welcome ghosts into the poem or listen to their wrangling in a purgatory of their own choosing. Spicer long gone saying, tell him to work on it. Levi, Whitman, and Ryder lounging under the moon. And the last one has 3 nearly forgotten cowboys in it. The junk shop and dream. I break the rules all the time, crying over old shoes, mountain boots, for instance, or a butterfly wandering out of that stand of trees. Spicer telling Lorca that the perfect poem has an infinitely small vocabulary, lemon trees and violins, tart sound and relevance. Some words never leave the junk shop, some not used for years. An overcrowded garage, discarded objects, old furniture, a bridle and kidney belt hooked to a 2x4, a tin hat nailed to a beam, shipyard and range. I wanted them there. Starting the poem again, hoping that the cards don't topple, and these old shoes, boots actually beautifully carved, soft leather, carried to the men at the back of the room. I know the room. I know the men. Maynard Dixon, Dane Coolidge, Ed Boreen float up from their antique niche, wildcats in the rafters, sidewander advance, disrupting sand on the floor. Moving through time, the room, the 3 finger, the boot leather, and smile. We'll go out there again this fall, sun against the prow of the mesa wall. Using words sparingly, like ghosts and real cowboys, starched ropes and work chaps, illustrated covers of old books. The Texican, Arizona Jim, plowing through the junk shop for what still shines, mica encased in rock, and reed baskets meshed with design. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So we've done it, gotten through another week of Sacred Grounds, and everybody brought their best. Dan should be back next week, and now we do the door prizes, and it looks like don't know if CP is present or not, but I'll quickly go through them in case he is. Looks like the only one that doesn't know about them. We have the keynote who kicks us off reading a poem by somebody else and then comes back to the open mic to 4-minute slots. Tommy did that tonight. We have the last word who starts and ends the second show. That was Britt. We have the mini feature, which is an 8-minute set in the second show. And we have the theme, which this week was Dog Days of August. So I've got a random number generator, but you can go ahead and hold up some fingers. 2 from David, 2 from Antoinette, 3 from Avacha, 3 from Britt. That's too many, says our one hand. And 5 from Brett and 5 from Cesar. Let's see. Okay, got it. So let me see what I can do. Generate some numbers. One at a time. Each one. Little slow, but I'll get this pretty soon. So, the first number is nobody, so let's try this again. Five, which is first number is Barbara's here.
I am here, but I won't be here next week, so I'll pick the theme.
Okay.
And so the theme will be music in the air.
Music in the air. Great.
Music in the air. Okay. Let me get the next number. Okay, next number belongs to Garrett. What would you like, Garrett? We have Keynote, Last Word, and Mini available.
You're muted.
Last word.
Okay,
Last word.
Garrett.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we have number is David. We have the Keynote or the Mini.
Is that to me?
Yes, to David. To David.
I'll take the Keynote.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have, see who we get for the Mini. No. Karen, do you want the Mini? You're muted.
You muted.
Okay, unmute. Yeah, okay. Mini next week. All right. I
Yep.
think that's the 20th, something like that. Okay.
Yes, today's
Okay.
the 13th, so that makes it the 20th. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Anyone have anything they want to say?
Great job, Richard.
No,
Yeah, beautiful
you,
job,
Richard.
Richard.
Yep.
but I am
And
happy Dan's coming back next week.
oh, but it was a lovely evening. Britt, wonderful. Your offerings before and end. And Antoinette, lovely. Minnie, and I mean, it was just a lovely evening.
Yeah, and I want to say, Britt, thank you so much for bringing up Gene Lee, probably one of the greatest voices ever lives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Stay safe.
All right. Good night.
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 Good night, everybody.
Night.